Have you ever stopped and thought about how the world is changing so rapidly, how things seem to be moving at a pace that's hard to keep up with? There's an energy in the air right now, an undeniable current running through everything. It feels as though we are standing at the edge of something monumental, something so big we can hardly comprehend it. The question is, what's coming? What if I told you that before November 1st, 4 things would happen, 4 events, 4 major shifts that will forever alter the course of history? And no, I'm not talking about the kind of predictions that come from just another person with an opinion or a guess about the future. No, these aren't mere speculations. These are divine appointments. God himself has said that these things will take place, and before we even realize it, everything will be changed. Now I know what you might be thinking. Here we go again. Another person claiming to know what's coming next. But let me ask you, have you been paying attention? Have you seen the signs? Have you felt the shifts that have been happening all around us, slowly but surely? Things that seemed impossible just a few years ago are now becoming reality. The world is on the brink of something, a moment where everything we thought we knew could be flipped on its head. We're living in a time where divisions are deeper than ever, where tensions between nations are rising and unrest is spreading across borders. Look around, and you can feel it. The world feels like it's walking a tightrope. The economy's teetering on the edge, and people are beginning to wake up to the lies they've been fed for so long. It's almost as if the entire world is holding its breath, waiting for something massive to happen, and that something is approaching faster than we can prepare for. Now, I know some of you are skeptical. What are you talking about? You might say. It's just another doomsday prediction. But when you take a step back, when you look at everything happening in the world right now, it's hard to deny that we're living in a time of unprecedented change, a time where things that once seemed impossible are now within reach. And when you begin to connect the dots, it's not just a coincidence. There's something much bigger at play. And that's where the first event comes into focus. The first thing that will take place before November 1st is the shift in the balance of power. I'm talking about something that will challenge the very foundation of the world as we know it. A realignment on a global scale, something that will shake the established order to its core. Look at the way nations are positioning themselves. Look at how alliances that were once solid are beginning to crumble. Look at how new powers are emerging, ones that are challenging the old guard. This isn't just political theater. This is the beginning of a reordering of the world stage. And it's not going to be a smooth transition. No, this is going to be a battle, a clash of ideologies, cultures, and ambitions that will alter the course of nations. And let me tell you something. This shift is not going to be a slow, gradual thing. It's going to happen quickly, unexpectedly. Just when you think everything is stable, the ground beneath your feet is going to shift. The countries that once held the keys to global power will no longer have the same influence, and new players who have been waiting in the shadows are going to rise to prominence. Some will try to resist, of course. They'll cling to the old ways, hoping that things will return to the way they once were. But the truth is that time is over. The world is evolving, and those who are in power now are going to have to adapt or face the consequences. What's happening now isn't just about politics, though. This is about the people. The masses are waking up. We're seeing more and more people question the narratives they've been fed for decades. They're starting to ask difficult questions. They're beginning to see through the smoke and mirrors. And as the people awaken, the foundations of the old world order are beginning to crack. The elites can't control the narrative like they once did. They can't pull the strings without resistance anymore. The truth is getting out whether they like it or not. But here's the thing. The change that's coming isn't going to be without its challenges. There will be resistance. Those who have been in control for so long aren't going to give up without a fight. They'll try to maintain their grip. They'll push back with everything they've got. But the tides are turning. It's only a matter of time before the new order is established. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but how does this all connect to the divine plan? What does God have to do with any of this? Well, let me tell you something. This isn't just a political or social shift we're talking about. This is a divine intervention, a part of God's plan for the world. And before you dismiss that as just some spiritual talk, let me remind you, God has always had a plan for the world. He's always been in control, even when we can't see it. And everything that's happening right now, every shift, every change, every awakening, it's all part of his greater design. God has said that before November 1st, these four things will happen. And the first one, the shift in the balance of power, is just the beginning. It's the opening salvo in what will be a series of events that will change everything. And it won't just affect one nation, one group, or one generation. This is going to affect the entire world. And I know that sounds dramatic. It sounds like something out of a movie or a book. But when you look at everything that's happening around us, it's hard to deny that we are standing on the precipice of something massive. The world is changing, and it's changing fast. And God has made it clear that these changes are not random. They are part of his plan. And before November 1st, we will witness these events unfold before our eyes. But what's next? What comes after this shift in power? What's the second event that's going to take place? You're going to want to pay attention, because the second event is even more significant than the first, and it's coming sooner than you think. The world is waking up, slowly, painfully, but undeniably. And as this awakening spreads, something even more profound is about to happen. The second event. If the first was about power, this one is about truth. The revelation of truth, real truth, the kind that can't be twisted by headlines or buried by censorship. The kind that shakes governments, exposes corruption, and forces people to look in the mirror and ask, what have we been living under? You see, for years, decades even, we've been fed a version of reality that's been carefully crafted, edited, and controlled. They've told us what to believe, what to fear, what to desire, and we trusted them. We trusted the media, the institutions, the leaders. But deep down, somewhere inside, we knew something was off. We could feel it. A quiet unease that grew louder with every lie exposed, every truth buried. And now, that truth is clawing its way out. Before November 1st, there will be a moment, a revelation, so powerful that it will pierce through the fog. Secrets that have been buried deep, so deep that even the powerful thought they'd never see the light of day will begin to surface. And when they do, it's going to shake the world like never before. This isn't some vague spiritual metaphor. This is real. Documents, recordings, confessions, things that have been hidden away in vaults and archives will begin to leak. The people who have lived off deception will begin to turn on one another. Some out of fear, some out of guilt, and some because they finally realize that the truth is stronger than the system. You'll see it happen. A headline will break, a leak will drop, and suddenly, what was once called conspiracy will become undeniable fact. And the world will gasp. People will ask, how long have they known? Why didn't anyone stop it? How deep does it go? And the answer will echo through the chaos, deeper than anyone could have imagined. Now, not everyone will accept it. Some will deny it to the very end. They'll cling to their illusions because facing the truth means admitting they were deceived. And that's painful. Some people would rather live in a comfortable lie than wake up to an uncomfortable truth. But others will see the light and they'll never go back. And that's where things will start to shift even more dramatically. You see, when the truth begins to pour out, it doesn't just affect governments or elites. It affects every single person. It's like a mirror being placed in front of society. We're going to be forced to confront what we've ignored for too long. Our complacency, our silence, our willingness to look away when it was convenient. And this truth won't be limited to politics or corruption. It will spill into science, into medicine, into faith itself. Things we thought were absolute will begin to fracture. People will start to question everything. Who controls the information? Who benefits from the fear? Who profits from our confusion? And in that questioning, something beautiful will begin to happen. Because truth, once it starts to break through, can't be contained. It spreads. It moves through conversations, through communities, through hearts. It changes people from the inside out. It sparks courage where there was once apathy. It ignites conviction where there was once doubt. But don't think for a second that the forces of deception will just sit back and watch it happen. Oh no, they will fight tooth and nail to suppress it. They'll call it misinformation. They'll twist it. They'll drown it out with noise. You'll see chaos online. You'll see disinformation flying in every direction, all designed to confuse you, to make you question your own senses. But the truth doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be. Because once it's revealed, once it's seen, it can't be unseen. Now, here's the part most people won't be ready for. This revelation won't come from the powerful. It won't come from the people we expect. It's going to come from ordinary voices, people who have been overlooked, ignored, dismissed, people who were mocked for speaking up. They will rise, and the world will finally hear them. The irony is that the same systems that tried to silence them will be the ones that expose themselves. The lies will collapse under their own weight. The cover-ups will unravel, not because of force, but because of divine timing. And when it happens, there will be fear. There will be confusion. People will be angry that they were deceived, angry that they didn't see it sooner. But in that anger, something powerful will awaken. A hunger for truth. A desire to rebuild on something real, something pure. That's the moment when everything will start to shift toward the third event. But before we get there, understand this. The revelation of truth isn't just about exposing corruption. It's about liberation. It's about setting people free from the bondage of lies. It's about breaking chains that have kept humanity divided, weak, and blind. Because once the truth comes out, there's no going back. The illusion shatters, and the world begins to see things as they truly are. That's when the line between light and darkness becomes crystal clear. And I'll tell you, when people finally see the truth for what it is, some will fall to their knees, some will weep, some will cry out to God, asking for forgiveness for having turned a blind eye for so long. But God, in His mercy, is giving humanity one more chance to see, to repent, to return to the path of truth. This revelation isn't coming to destroy, it's coming to cleanse. And that's why this second event, this unveiling of truth, is so powerful. Because without it, the next phase couldn't happen. The awakening that follows can only begin once people see clearly, once the lies are stripped away and the light floods in. So yes, before November 1st, we're going to see things exposed that many thought would remain hidden forever. We're going to see people of power tremble, systems collapse, and a world forced to face the truth it's been avoiding for generations. And when that happens, it's not the end. It's the beginning of something far greater. Because after the revelation of truth comes the awakening. And when the truth finally breaks through, when the veil is torn and the lies collapse, something remarkable will begin to stir across the earth. A quiet murmur at first, then a roar that cannot be silenced. The third event, the awakening. People everywhere will begin to feel it. That stirring inside, that unexplainable pull towards something greater. Hearts that were numb will start to beat again. Minds that were trapped in confusion will begin to see clearly. It's not just an intellectual awakening, it's spiritual. This is where everything changes. Because once people see the truth, they can never unsee it. Once they taste real freedom, they can never go back to chains. And that's what this awakening is all about. It's a moment of realization that we were made for something more, something higher, something divine. For too long, the world has been asleep, hypnotized by comfort, by distraction, by the endless noise that keeps us too busy to think, too tired to question, too numb to feel. But God is shaking the world awake. He's saying, enough. He's calling His people to rise, to remember who they are and whose they are. This awakening won't come through governments or media or leaders. It's coming through people, ordinary people, who are done being silent. People who are ready to live in truth, to walk in courage, to speak light into darkness. It's starting in small towns, in quiet living rooms, in churches, in schools, on streets where people gather not out of anger but out of conviction. And here's the beauty of it. No one can stop it. You can censor voices, you can ban platforms, you can mock faith, but you can't silence the spirit of truth once it's been released into the world. It's spreading like wildfire, heart to heart, home to home, nation to nation. You'll see people who once hated each other begin to talk again. You'll see families that were torn apart begin to heal. You'll see nations that were enemies begin to recognize their shared humanity. Because when God awakens hearts, division loses its grip. This awakening will not be gentle, it will be powerful. It will expose hypocrisy within the church. It will reveal corruption within institutions that once called themselves righteous. It will draw a line between those who serve truth and those who serve deception. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because when the light shines, darkness doesn't just disappear quietly, it fights back. The powers of this world will do everything they can to stop this movement. They'll use fear, propaganda, manipulation, even chaos to try to contain it. But they'll fail. Why? Because this awakening isn't man-made, it's divine. It's being fueled by something that no system, no government, no technology can control. It's being fueled by God's Spirit, and once He breathes on something, it cannot die. You'll begin to notice it in the way people talk, the way they think, the way they begin to question what they used to accept. You'll see artists, writers, and teachers begin to speak with boldness again, not about politics, but about truth, beauty, and righteousness. You'll see young people turning their backs on empty entertainment and searching for meaning. You'll see communities coming together, not because they agree on everything, but because they know deep down that they're fighting for something sacred. And as this awakening grows, as hearts begin to align with truth, the final event will draw near. The fourth event. The moment when everything that has been shifting, everything that has been exposed, and everything that has been awakened will converge into one defining transformation. The rise of a new order. Not a political order, not the kind built on control or fear. This will be something far deeper, a reordering of humanity's soul. A world that begins to rebuild on truth instead of lies, on unity instead of division, on purpose instead of chaos. It won't happen overnight. It won't come easily. There will be struggle. There will be resistance. But once the truth has been revealed and the people are awake, the old system can no longer survive. It will crumble under the weight of its own corruption. And in its place, something new will rise. A world where people once again value honesty, where leadership means service, not control, where faith isn't mocked, but honored, where freedom isn't a slogan, but a way of life. That's what this fourth event is about, the culmination of everything that came before it. The shift in power, the revelation of truth, the awakening of hearts, and finally, the rebirth of a world that remembers who it belongs to. But understand this. This isn't some fantasy ending where everything suddenly becomes easy. No. It's going to take courage. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take people standing up when it's dangerous to do so. Speaking truth when the world demands silence. And that's where you come in. Because the awakening isn't happening out there somewhere. It's happening inside you. The question isn't whether these events will happen, it's whether you'll be ready when they do. Whether you'll stand on the side of truth when the world tells you to bow. Whether you'll live with conviction when it costs you something. God isn't looking for perfect people. He's looking for willing people. People who will listen, who will follow, who will carry light into dark places. People who understand that this moment in history isn't random, it's appointed. Before November 1st, these four things will unfold. The power shift, the revelation, the awakening, and the new world that will begin to take shape. And when it happens, some will be afraid, some will run. But others will rise. They'll step forward with courage, with faith,